Happy St. Patrick's Day, and welcome back to the Superior Comic Show. Today we are going to be taking a look at the top 10 comic characters with Irish heritage background in comics. So anyone who doesn't know what Patrick's Day is about, I think everyone knows now, but St. Patrick actually is an interesting story himself. It's full of kidnapping and things like that. So I think anyone should go look into St. Patrick, especially when part of the story where he becomes like Samuel L. Jackson on a plane and says, "Time to get these snakes." So fuck out of here. Yeah, without further ado, let's go into that too much. Don't forget to follow us on all forms of social media and check out our last couple of videos that we've done on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Zack Snyder's Justice League. And drop a subscribe. Once we get 350, we're going to be doing a giveaway. So without further ado, let's get into the top 10 Irish comic characters. Happy Paddy's Day.
Coming in at number 10, we have Jack O'Lantern. Jack O'Lantern's originated from Ireland, so no coincidence that this hero is on the list. Daniel Cormack made his first appearance in Super Friends number 8 in 1977 as Jack O'Lantern, when the Super Friends needed a bit of help from all over the world stopping some bombs that were planted. Cormac also eventually became part of a team called the Global Guardians, who worked for an organisation called the Dome. He was the son of a poor Irish farmer, and he was given a mystical lantern by a fairy that allowed him to do all sorts of stuff like fly, shoot flames, teleport, create illusions, and increase his strength. And the problem was his power kind of would dip as the night dipped. So he was the strongest at midnight and his weakest at midday. And eventually did die of natural causes, but the mantle of Jack O'Lantern was picked up by many others, including his cousin Lee McHugh. Shamrock made her first appearance in 1982 as Marvel Superhero Contest of Champions number 1. Molly Fitzgerald was the daughter of an Irish Republican Army militant, and she became the vessel for thousands of souls of innocent people who were killed in war. As many know, she was named after the 4-leaf clover, fabled in Ireland. Her power is to basically use the displaced soul to affect probability, just for a short period of time, which basically gives good luck for her and her mates, and bad luck for anyone who F's with her. Basically, she was the living embodiment of the luck of the Irish, and one of the select group of heroes whose power was very symbolic of her homeland. She later joined S.H.I.E.L.D., but not much has been revealed about what she did there. But we do know she eventually retired from superhero work to become a hairdresser, and was last seen running a bar in the Big Apple. Eric O'Grady. When you think of Ant-Man, nowadays I know people think of Scott Lang from the movie, and then the older crowd will think of Hank Pym. But in this list, I'm talking about someone who's a bit lesser known and a bit less nice. Eric O'Grady. He made his first appearance in 2006's Irredeemable Ant-Man number 1. Basically, he was just a lower level S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who happened to find the Ant-Man suit and used it and took on the mantle. Just like the title said, kind of implied and showed that O'Grady wasn't really hero material. He had all the powers of Ant-Man, including the shrinking, control the insects, but he flew with a jetpack, and he had a flame that he could redirect into a weapon. O'Grady was kind of more interested in stealing and being a bit of a perv than fighting crime. He would eventually join the Avengers Initiative, but ended up becoming basically a full-on supervillain named the Black Ant. Banshee, one a lot of my American followers on Twitter have spoken about and know more than the others, was part of the X-Men and first appeared in 1967's X-Men number 28. He's of course named after the mythological ghoul who lets out shrieks just before someone's death. His real name is Sean Cassidy, and he has the power to make his voice so loud that it can create waves of destructive force and even help him fly. He actually started out as a villain who was forced to become a member of the criminals known as the Factor 3, but he freed himself with the help of the X-Men, and then eventually he would join them. He was an extreme Irish stereotype, in my opinion. The thick accent, smoking a pipe. But he also had a bad habit of losing his powers on a regular basis. But his throat injuries were eventually healed. But then he did have to sacrifice himself to save lives on a jet. Yeah, one of the more stereotypical characters, but iconic all the same, which is why he gets a place on this list. Coil Rainer. Basically, Hal Jordan was on a universe-wide killing spree, so Earth needed a new Green Lantern. And who better to come in and wield the green and little Irish boy Kyle. His Irish roots are never kind of really fully explored, but it is revealed that his mother made him learn Gaelic from an early age. So, that was kind of at least some of his roots explored, and, he ended up wearing green. Unfortunately, then, he is most well known for that fridging issue. Yeah. I personally loved him as Green Lantern, but anyway, swiftly moving on. Miguel OHara, Spider-Man 2099, is often kind of talked about his Mexican heritage, which is 100% I agree with you. You need the representation there for the Mexican community. But it's very easy, and a lot of people do forget that he is actually half Irish through his father, George OHara. Miguel, as many know, worked at Alchemax and acquired similar powers to Peter's, but also had these kind of claws as well, which weren't very attractive. He was the most successful of the 2099 line, and has even shown up in recent comics and had a recent enough comic line in this century anyway, which was drawn by Irish artist Will Slynn. Daredevil, Matt Murdock. So yeah, before he had the heightened senses, the yellow suit, the red suit, the horns, the blindness, and the Netflix, and the Ben Affleck, Matt Murdock was just some Irish kid growing up in Hell's Kitchen. Never really explored his Irishness too much. We always knew he was Catholic, but more recent times his Catholic upbringing has been brought to the forefront, and it's a huge factor in his moral compass and decision making. So yeah, this good old Matt is Irish. Maybe I should have played. Kukulen. Spoke of this on TikTok yesterday, formerly known as Satanta, until he killed off the Hounds of the Royal Smith and offered to take his place as guard, which earned him the name Kukulen, or the Hound of Cullen. He's huge in Irish mythology. We all learned about him in school, and that's why he's a big deal when it came to comics. He's faced the Guardian of the Galaxy, he's injured Thor, and he was once called too bloodthirsty for Hercules to work with. Steve Rogers, or Stephen McRory, to use the Irish translation of his name. Captain America, yep, it's true. Mr. Red, White and Blue himself is Irish. Or Irish American, if you want to really kind of get into specifics. He was born to poor Irish immigrant parents who moved to the US, to Brooklyn, to look for the American dream. They had Steve in 1920. So yeah, to all those people who use Steve as a reason to be all America, yeah, you might be pissed to know that your Goodell symbol is an immigrant from Ireland. He is actually entitled to an Irish passport if he ever wished to apply. Joseph Mary Plunkett, number one, has to be on my list, is a real-life Irish hero from the 1916 Rising, and was brought into comics in Jerry Hunt's Blood Upon the Rose when he explored the heroes of the 1916 Rising. Joseph Plunkett was terminally ill with TB, and he was arrested by the British Army and executed. But the love story is what people remember him most for. He married Grace Gifford while he was set for execution, just because he wanted to marry the love of his life before he moved on to the afterlife. It was actually a beautiful song that will be my first dance song at my wedding, called Grace, that I think everyone should look up, by the Wolf Tones. And it is one of the most beautiful songs I think ever written. Joseph Mary Plunkett, the real life Irish hero in comics now as well as in real life. That is our number one. It was too easy of a choice for me.
So that was my top 10 Irish comic characters. A few may be surprised of seeing Cap at number 2, but if you really look into the history of the 1916 Rising and Joseph Plunkett, you will know why he was number 1. He was a real life hero, and seeing him in comic form was incredible. So let me know who did I not include in my list that you would have included. What do you agree with? Would you have changed the position of some of these? Would there be a different number 1 in your eyes? Let me know in the comments down below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on all the social media there: Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Until then, happy Paddy's Day. Gurad Mila Mahagud for watching, and we will see you soon.